The facts in this case were very disturbing to me. The individual complaining party, he was in a wheelchair. He worked for this company. This gentleman was a paraplegic. The company did not have a bathroom that was accessible for him. He also couldn't get his wheelchair under the desk that they made him sit at. So every day, for as long as he worked there, he would come to work, have to take his wheelchair apart to fit under the desk so that he could work. When lunchtime came, he had to put his wheelchair back together, drive home to use the bathroom. By the time he got back into his car to return to work, his lunch hour was over. That's how he would use his lunch hour every day. That was one of the most disturbing displays of discriminatory conduct that I have witnessed. The Commission on Human Rights and Opportunities helps people who are hurting, helps people who believe that they were discriminated against. The Commission on Human Rights and Opportunities is the oldest civil rights agency in the nation. We were established in 1943, and we're a watchdog agency. The mission of our agency is to eliminate discrimination through enforcement, education, and advocacy. We have informational sessions where we educate the public about the Commission's complaint process and public hearing process. We want to make sure that any and every individual who feels that they've been discriminated against knows that we're there and we're available.
What is discrimination? And discrimination is something that we do every day. When you get up in the morning, you decide what you're going to wear, you're going to decide what you're going to drink and eat that morning. Those are all types of choices that we have to make to get through the day. And that's fine. Where discrimination isn't fine is when you discriminate based on a protected class that someone fits into, and that is protected by our statutes, both state and federal. And the Commission on Human Rights and Opportunities covers these types of discrimination. Discrimination in housing, in credit, in public accommodation, and in employment. And public accommodation is places that are of a public nature, so the mall or McDonald's. And that means that you cannot be discriminated against based on our protected classes.
We have our attorneys here who prosecute the cases, the referees who hear the cases, our housing unit who hears exclusively housing complaints, and our affirmative action and contract compliance. I know it's a lot of stuff. So in review, we really do three primary functions. We'll do investigations and prosecutions for employment, housing and credit lending, and then we also do affirmative action and contract compliance. I think that if the Commission were eliminated, it would be a great injustice to the people of this state because there wouldn't be anyone to watchdog. And that's primarily what we are. I mean, we look over not only private sector, but public sector as well. If we're not here, unfortunately, there'll be nobody to be able to check other state agencies when it comes to, for example, affirmative action plans. Every state agency has to file one. We're the only agency out there to be able to monitor their hiring. In essence, if we weren't here, state agencies could hire discriminatorily, if you would. For the individuals that file complaints here, the only other avenue they would have is to be able to go to court, get an attorney, or do it pro se. I mean, we actually, by your tax dollars, will stand by and do the investigation. If it gets to a cause finding, we have an attorney that's assigned to the case. I mean, people can come here, file a complaint at no charge. To be able to file a complaint in court, even if it's the same type of a complaint, it's going to cost them money.
The Commission on Human Rights, unlike any other agency, gets to deal with so many protected classes. We protect everyone based on age, race, color, national origin, ancestry, physical disability, mental disability, lawful source of income, sexual orientation. There are over 20 protected classes. The primary purpose is for us to root out discriminatory conduct. And we have a housing unit, and the housing unit takes all of the complaints of discrimination based on housing and receives them and investigates them.
Housing cases are about 20% of the types of complaints that we receive. And types of housing discrimination that we see are refusal to rent, refusal to sell.
Mystic is like a club. You can't be a new member of this club. They don't let you. My name is Masoud Kalhoran. Originally, I'm from Iran. Came to United States in 1998, I think. Our whole idea was having the business in Mystic because it's a unique area. And one day I saw the sign, it's for sale. The other real estate, she was trying to stop us. She sent few people to my bake shop and she sent messages. Listen, they got money and you should back up because they're gonna drain you. I am just like you, I'm trying to buy. I have the same thing you have and I'm paying more. Why I can't buy it? For first few times, they thought we are lying. You know, they want to make sure. And we passed the process. It wasn't real easy, believe it or not. Sometimes I said, listen, these people are not going to help us. But at the end, with document they had, I don't know how they did. Probably they did their own things, which people like me doesn't know how they do. CHRO, they did their job. I think that's why we end up here. Otherwise, no. I mean, it wasn't possible, but they made it possible, honestly.
I just feel like our agency has the capacity, the enforcement authority to help so many people. It's important for the communities in the state of Connecticut to know that the Commission is here and to know what we do. We talk about what the agency does and provide them with information and literature about what the agency does so that no one ever feels as though there's nowhere to turn when they've been discriminated against. One of the most memorable experiences for me just recently happened with this 9-year-old kid. I was doing a fair with the Charter Oak Health Center, and basically we were sitting at a booth. We had a CHRO tablecloth out, and we had signs, and the sign said discrimination is illegal in English and in Spanish. And this 9-year-old walked up to the table and she was like, you know, can you explain to me what do you do? What do you do? Discrimination? And I said, well, we protect individuals against being discriminated against. And then she said, oh, I have that problem. And I was like, well, what do you mean you have that problem? And she's like, well, they call me black and ugly at school. And I said, wow, that's not good. I said, because you're a beautiful little girl and you don't have to feel bad about being black or anything like that. And I said, you know, here's our, you know, this is our brochure. We protect even kids in schools. And she was like, you do? And I said, yeah, we do. And she was like, yes. And she had 2 flyers in her hand, 2 different, you know, pieces of literature. And she was like, I can't wait to go tell my mother. And then she, you know, ran off. So it felt, I mean, that really felt good. That's why I went into this area of the law, to help kids like that.